that we are talking about a company that really is known for the level of leverage it has, as well as the questionable corporate governance. And so we do think that Evergrande, as well as Kaisa, are relatively idiosyncratic risks in the sector. And to be sure, there will be more defaults, especially of the smaller, more levered companies. But we do think that the central bank coming in and doing the 50 basis points in our cut really does have a positive effect on sentiment.
Can I pick up on that policy response, Teresa? Because the provincial government of Guangdong, Evergrande's home province, has also stepped in. Is this intervention the beginning of a managed restructuring, and should it give investors and creditors hope that there is light at the end of the tunnel?
Well, there is definitely hope, and there is certainly light. I think the necessity for all the parties to come together and have different constituencies be represented at the table is really, really important, right? As I think I've mentioned before, there are many constituents and they fall in a very different order of priority, right? So first and foremost, they want to make sure that all of the holders of the wealth management products are getting paid. They want to make sure that all of the projects, which, some of them are still being delayed, have gotten restarted. And then probably, very much at the very end of the priority list are all these offshore bondholders, which are large institutional investors that have been clipping a very high coupon and should understand that risk. So it is very important for one centralized manager that represents all these constituents to make sure that this is an orderly restructuring.
Teresa, this is something that we have seen before. As I mentioned, Kaisa was the first mainland developer to default on offshore bonds back in 2015. Are there any similarities here with what happened back then and how you expect this to be resolved?
I do think that today, it is a quite a different environment. Kaisa was seen as even more idiosyncratic, than what we currently see. I think that, the major difference here is the fact that the Chinese government, as of even as early as like 9 months ago, were very much about deleveraging the entire sector and sending very strong policy signals that as these developers may be getting a little bit over levered, they wanted to make sure that they stay within that. So thus we have the 3 red lines. I think the similarity, though, and I think the one thing I really want to stress is the fact that the story for China property still remains intact. And it's very much predicated on the urbanization rate, right? If you just compare it with, for example, in Japan, the urbanization rate is 90%. In US, urbanization rates in the 80s, whereas China has just hit 70s in terms of urbanization rate. So there's still many households that will be forming, especially in the urban areas, as workers continue to migrate out of the rural areas into the urban areas. And so I think overall, the government understands that you will have a few failures, but the sector as a whole continues to be a very important part of the economy. And I do think that overall, this is a good opportunity to find really good companies. So the proverbial baby being thrown out of the bathwater.
Hi, I'm Emily Tan, and thanks for watching CNBC. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more. Thanks for watching.